We need to empower the women a little bit more. And you know, there are many organizations now, I'm aware, who are really training women on how to, handle themselves and come out for active elective posts. And this is because whether BBI comes to be or not, it was very clear from the first BBI report that Kenyans no longer want nominated slots, affirmative action. They want to go for it. They want the women to go for it. They don't want to hear nominated women. They don't want to hear women rep. If you remember the first BBI report of the task force after it went round, it was clear that Kenyans are kind of demanding that women need to go at it. And so what happens is, to have that 2/3 then be achieved, then it has to be several fronts have to now come out. First, the political parties have to make sure their nomination lists include women. So from that basic level. And then secondly, we have to empower women so that they are not scared to run. And you know, the space, I mean, when you hear the stories of the first women in parliament and you compare to today, we've come a long way. You know, women are now, finding their feet. And the electorate is finding them more acceptable. I mean, things are changing, times are different. And I think also because of the youthful population that we have, that space is, beginning to widen. It's not what it was like before. So I think it's just a question of how political parties, a lot of it, by the way, will be borne by the political parties. Their goodwill to allow for women, to give them that space. It will be done by the political parties. And even under the BBI, actually, the beginning of the 2/3 was starting from how the party lists are presented, isn't it? And then there was a small formula, I think there was a formula in Parliament, National Assembly, how then should it still not be achieved from the election, then there is that balance that will have happened by picking a few who have participated in election to enter into the National Assembly. So without BBI, then there's a lot of mathematics has to be done, because you can be sure
to balance that equation.
to balance that, because you can be sure then the next Parliament will still default. Like the Justice Maraga had said, that we were sitting in Parliament illegally, considering we had deflated.
The President should dissolve Parliament.
Yeah, we should have been dissolved by now. So if we don't correct that at the next election, if BBI does not come through, then definitely it will have to be done in the first instance of taking oath of office. Parliament will have no choice but to regularize that. Otherwise, we'll end up just having another, rat race. And those are some of the things for us who are proponents, as a proponent of BBI, that we're hoping this. But I just want to comment something before you move on, because you did mention about my party leader nominating a relative into Yala. Of course, I have to make a comment on that.
And when
I have to make a comment on it.
ODM, we remember their party list and who it included as well. So
it's nepotism. It is about, families also wanting to have a little bit of legacy. They want to train some people, but more importantly is also to appreciate that, Wiper did a lot more. That's just one scenario, but there's a lot of other nominations that happened that were not nepotism, so to speak. We have a nominated member, Serone, in the National Assembly, who is from Nakuru. We have county assemblies where we have a lot of nominated Wiper members who are not also, relatives, so to speak. So this particular case was really highlighted in a way to make my party leader not, look dishonorable. But truly speaking, there's nothing truly dishonorable when such opportunities arise and somebody wants to, have, a relative. They're also trying to groom their children and things like that. So it is that kind of opportunity that should not necessarily be looked down upon.
Well, it's just